Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So today we have some leaked OTA news. I don't really know the source of this leak, except that I think someone found a link that gave early access to notes that had been prepared. We don't have 100% confirmation it is real, but I've seen a lot of leaks in Marvel Snap before, and this one definitely feels kind of like a real one to me, not only in the changes, but like the wording of how they're talking about it, and the fact that like the URL seemed pretty legit. So not 100% confirmed, but I'd say like likely. So we're going to talk about it. Lady Deathstrike, we have some nerfs up first. Small nerfs. We have Lady Deathstrike going from a 5.7 to a 5.6. We're happy that the latest update to Deathstrike created space for this card in the metagame, however its performance indicates we overshot that mark by just a hair. Deathstrike has become one of the best cards in the game for the last few weeks, even the top performer in some Annihilus shells. That's right, over Annihilus himself. Given we're seeing those decks overperform a bit, we're addressing both issues by taking away a little power here. I don't think this is going to significantly nerf the Annihilus decks. But, because, like, Lady Deathstrike's weird because it's good in the Annihilus decks, but it also gives decks a way to deal with the whole, like, Annihilus Sentry Void thing. So, I personally would have liked to see this card stay where it was, but it's still very playable as a 5.6, so I guess that's okay. This one really surprises me. Darkhawk, also losing a point of power, going from a 5.4 to a 5.3. And they say it here. It may sound surprising, and it's because it is. Darkhawk has continued to soar after moving to 5 cost. In fact, it spent the majority of the time since as one of the highest win rate cards in the game, often the highest. That's so crazy to me. We've given it a few weeks to see if the metagame would demonstrate the kind of healthy churn we like to see, but after little to no change on this count, we're taking action. We want Darkhawk to continue playing an important part in the meta, but there's a delicate balance to preserve around having too many rocks. This is shocking to me. Like, not that Darkhawk was good, like, it was fine. It might have even been the best Annihilus deck, surprisingly, even though I think most people didn't really feel that way. But yeah, this is surprising to me. Kind of sad to see Hawk get nerfed, but again, it's 1 power. It's not the biggest deal in the world, just kind of a surprising one. But I guess that's also them trying to crack down on the Annihilus shell a bit. Then we have buffs. Leach, this is controversial. Buffing Leach is a dangerous game. Leach is going from a 5.3 to a 4.2. It's been a while since Leach terrorized the Snap ladder. Shifting it to only effect on reveals solved the frustration Leach created, but at 5.3 the stats have been too weak to compete with other 5 costs, even with this effect. In particular, Hela's new access to energy gain has meant a 5-cost Leach can't always stop big resurrection stuff. At 4.2, Leach can more effectively address popular threats like Hela, Annie, Jane, Cannonball. Besides, we can't help but root for our favorite Morlock after seeing that brave face on X-Men 97. Probably the most controversial change, I think, of the bunch. Right now, I just finished my Infinite Climb. Hela's everywhere, because Blink is quite good with Hela. And that's just a really solid shell overall. And 2 things I think are going to happen here. 1, people are going to start putting Leech in decks to counter the Hela stuff. But the thing I think people aren't thinking about is that I think a lot of these ramp decks probably will run Leech too. Be it for the mirror, to throw off opposing Shang-Chi's. The fact that you can Leech into Blink is really strong because you get rid of the bad body and you get the good effect out of it. So this is a dangerous change. I'm not super opposed to it because I think we do need some kind of way to tech against Hela a bit. C2 fans, probably really happy right now. C2 with Leech, kind of cool. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this one ends up working. One of my bigger fears is the fact that this could probably become a Loki card, because Loki's really good at running tech cards, because if the tech card isn't good, you just Loki it away, and it's not a big deal. We'll see what happens. It's good that they're making a better release valve, but like, no one likes getting Leech, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Psylock and Sauron, we can group these together. They nerfed Psylock when Thanos was OP. Thanos is no longer OP. They're reverting Psylock. They nerfed Sauron. Who knows why they nerfed Sauron? Because sure, he was not OP when that happened, but they're reverting Sauron. So they're both gaining a point of power, kind of uneventful. Then we get to the actual fun changes. I think these ones are the most interesting of the patch, and we have Claw. Claw is getting a +8 buff to power to the right location instead of +6, so 2 more power. It's been exciting to see the ongoing base deck claiming their due at the upper ranks over the last week. One card that has continued to suffer in an awkward in-between spot is Claw. It's a 5-cost card that's fairly restrictive because Claw has a novel restriction and gameplay reward. We're adding power to the ongoing effect to further emphasize those unique elements. Interesting. You can now try this out in the Spectrum ongoing deck. Kind of makes your Spectrum lane better, right? Like you fill up one lane full of ongoing stuff, you Spectrum the other lane. So you can have like a 15 power Spectrum lane now, which is pretty cool. Or you could go with Onslaught to get 16 power off this effect, double your other ongoings. It's neat. I like this change. Claw has been a bad card for a very long time. So anything that helps out these older cards, I think, is a great thing for the game. And speaking of older cards, this is a card I'm sure newer players of the game probably have not seen very much at all, and that is Ultron. Ultron was actually kind of a meta player when the game first came out, being the top end for Patriot, but that kind of has fallen off over time. The drones are not as powerful as they once were, and as such they're being buffed from a 1 power to a 2 power. A metagame threat in the early days, Ultron's gotten weaker as decks increase their focus on filling each location and more effectively concentrating power. The drones already have predators in the metagame thanks to Killmonger and Deathstrike, and Ultron himself is quite vulnerable to Cannonball. There's a lot of power to add. That's a lot of power to add to Ultron, so we might need to come back and take some away from Ultron himself later, but we decided not to do so preemptively in case it's not needed. We'd rather see Ultron make a splash once more than continue to flounder. So Ultron fans are eating. This is a pretty big change. Will it be good enough? I don't know in the context of this meta, especially with the Leach change. If everyone's like running Leach to counter, your Ultron might be getting zapped, but I guess Patriot doesn't totally hate zapped cards because then they get the Patriot buff, but we'll have to see. Regardless, I think this is a change a lot of people are going to be a fan of, myself included, just because Ultron's a fun card. It's been sad he's been unplayable for so long, and maybe it won't propel him to tier 1, but anything to make the card a bit more playable and kind of a more fun build around, probably a good thing for the game. And yeah, those are all the balance changes. Pretty interesting stuff overall. I don't think it's going to drastically... I don't think any of these are going to drastically change the game except the Leach change. I think if one of these cards, one of these changes how things are going on right now, it will be Leach. Because there's a lot of on-reveal stuff going on right now. It's just a question of, is Leach a good enough hate card to punish some of these ramping decks? Or does he just end up being an addition to these ramping decks for the mirrors and other good situations? But yeah, I think as far as patches go, this is a pretty okay one. I'm happy to see they're not totally nuking anything with nerfs. Like, yeah, Deathstrike and Darkhawk losing a point of power, but those cards should still be very viable. It's nice to see them buff up stuff that either got nerfed for other reasons or that's just been bad for a long time. This is kind of what I would like to see out of patches. I want to see more of them buffing up these like weaker cards because there's so many pool 3 cards that feel like they don't have a purpose in the game, and that makes the pool 3 experience not as fun, and it just makes brewing not as fun because when they're better cards, you have more options to brew with. So pretty decent if true. Again, I think it's pretty likely it's true given everything we've seen. We'll find out for sure on Thursday. I'll brew up some decks for Thursday. So if you're looking for something to play with the changed cards, I'll have a few lists for that, so stay tuned for that. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like these changes? Do you dislike these changes? I'd love to hear it. That's going to wrap it up for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.